As part of our first season in the Opera House, we are going to do Heggie's MOBY-DICK. I'm sure you've all read the novel. It's worth reading, it's wonderful. Tribulations of Captain Ahab. His fellow wasn't Starbucks the first officer? He wanted Starbucks to sponsor the production, and they're not selling enough cups of coffee at the moment. We haven't done everything right at the Dallas Opera. In our 52 years, we've only commissioned 3 operas, whereas I salute the work of what David Gottlieb had done in Houston. He did, in 23 years, I think they've got on 25 world premieres. Amazing. Anyway, you identify a composer, you identify Heggie, you identify a design and production team, Patrick Summers, the music director of Houston, who worked a great deal with Heggie, is going to come and conduct this piece, and then wonderful Gene Shear, who's one of the great librettists working in the world of modern opera, is crafting the libretto, and that is the challenge. It's a great thick novel. How do you reduce 700 pages down to a work of, say, 2.5 hours? That's the first big challenge. And how do you make it operatic? How on earth are we going to show on stage the killing of a whale? That's going to be a challenge. So you get, it's like when Puccini wrote Men. We've had Act 1 delivered, but there's still a great deal of work still to do on the crafting of the libretto for Act 2. And it's how you take a novel, in a way like doing a film. How do you create the screenplay, reduce it down to modest size, and then how do you orchestrate it so it doesn't just sound like quasi-Bernstein or quasi-Gershwin, whatever it is. But that is the composer's job, to sit in his studio and work it through. The frustration of doing opera is that there's not enough workshop time on any opera. The luxury the reason the American musical was such a success is that they had all those off-Broadway runs to get it right, to work. For my money, the most successful British opera written after the time of Benjamin Britten and Michael Tippett is the work of Anthony Turnage and his opera The Silver Tassie. In that when it was commissioned, got a lot of workshop experience, and the libretto and the musical was recrafted until it became really a success.
Why don't you think opera goes through that kind of process?
Too extensive. Singers have in their contract that they have to arrive on day one with the stuff learned, and we only have a certain amount of time in the theatre. You're paying a lot of dollars up front for rental of the theatre, and it's just the sheer cost. Why? You name the operas that are going to survive in the repertoire that have been written post-1945.
Goes to Versailles, but that's been had one few.
It's been cancelled, the Met is cancelled next season because they can't afford to do it. Because they can't guarantee the box office. Name me the great American operas, apart from Porgy, that are going to survive in the repertoire. And I think the greatness of your musical people with either to write film music or to write musicals.
Nixon in China should.
Nixon in China as well. But there aren't many. Susanna, yes, but it's really in the second league. And in Britain we can say Peter Grimes, Billy Budd turned the screw. They will survive. But none of the works of Michael Tippett, I don't think, will really survive, sadly.
I think Dead Man Walking has legs, so to speak.
Has legs, but will we be listening to it as often as Bohème and Tosca?
It hasn't, but
it might.
It could.
Yeah. I so long. When you go back to your computers, just go onto YouTube a moment and just type in the word Theodora, Theodora, and watch a little bit of the Peter Sellers production from Glyndebourne, where the last scene is set in Huntsville Prison. In the final duet, you see the two principals, the soprano and the countertenor, on a gurney, being given the lethal injection, and you see their heart monitors flicker, and then deadline. And that was very, very poignant for me, seeing that in England. And I would so love to bring that production to Texas, so that people are confronted musically by what goes on in Huntsville once a week, whatever it is.
Now you see Fort Worth doing at least one American opera a year.
Yeah.
Typically, why we don't see that as much in Dallas, at least at this point.
Finance. Our budget is going to dramatically increase in the new house. We're going to be up to about 18 million a year, and initially in the new house, we don't have people. We hope people are going to come. We hope they're going to come in vast numbers, and everything's going to be a sellout. But we've got to get people into the building. And it's not going to be the first year, it's not going to be the second year, it's going to be the third year. Then people have been to see the building and say, yes, okay, that was very interesting, but it's not for me. And would they rather just go and see Broadway in the new building? What we hope is that there's going to be a whole new generation of people coming in to see opera. And you take a risk doing the world premiere. Luckily for us, MOBY-DICK is a really well-known piece, and we have now partners in Canada, on the West Coast, and I've heard today in Australia as well. So that helps. Opera's already expensive, even when you put on Lucia di Lammermoor. You have all those principals, you have the chorus, you have the costumes, the sets, everything. But of course, when you commission opera, you've then also got to pay the librettist and the composer, and then you have rights to pay for. The reason rich San Francisco has cancelled Peter Grimes for next season is the cost that they have to pay a royalty to the Benjamin Britten estate. That's another 6% of your gross box office. So it's in the non-subsidised world, where everybody will flock to buy a Motosco Butterfly, the repertoire, I just hope it won't get too small. And we've talked about the top 10. We can't become a museum culture. We do have to keep on trying to find new work to do.